Hey, welcome to the Proseek tier list series. Today we're here with Ifbb Pro Jordan Clark, and we have a very important topic today, which is the best chest day exercises.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, Jordan, I'm going to pull up the screen here, and we'll go through the kind of what the criteria is, and we're going to go through and see where we would rank each of these exercises.
Gotcha.
So here at the top, we have mutant, as in you better do these, unavoidable, got to do it. Greek
Uh-huh.
God, great exercises. You should probably do them. Um, Gym Bro, not bad,
Uh-huh.
it's okay, acceptable in some circumstances.
Right.
And then we have Lifetime Natty. You don't want to look like a Lifetime Natty. So probably
Gotcha.
not worth putting into your program.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we'll start over here on the left side. You can say what you think, and then we'll kind of go through why. And
Uh-huh.
so we will start first with the incline cable fly. So do you do those
Incline.
in your program, and where would you put that on this list?
I always do those. A lot of people ask me that question. A lot of various competitors from men's physique, classic physique. Um, no bodybuilders. I don't have to talk to many open bodybuilders, not many around. But yeah, definitely a staple. I see a lot of guys doing them anyway who are open as well.
Mhm.
Definitely a huge staple. So I would say, mutant, put that in the mutant category for real.
Mutants, got to do it for
I
sure. Okay.
guess you gotta
Yeah, I
do it.
agree. It's definitely a very uh, specific exercise that targets like a very certain range. It's hard to do with anything else. Um, so yeah, if you are looking to target, what part of the chest are you trying to target there for that?
Oh, the upper chest, of course.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where it's just very everybody gets that critique now. Like if it doesn't matter what division you'll be in, there's always the need for an upper chest shelf. Always.
Right.
And one of the things is like when do it, cables, constant tension on the muscle as well. It's very isometric. It can be if you have a certain attachment, it can be, I forget the word. Not, I want to say unilateral, but you can put a bar on that and
Oh,
do it
like
as
bilateral. Yeah, yeah,
bilateral, yeah, bilateral,
right.
yeah. But yeah, keep that constant tension, be able to have ISO on both parts of your upper chest, and really squeezing out that motion all the way up to the top. And I always like to put my finger like literally right here in the
Mm.
very corner of my shoulder and my trap and my clavicle bone, so I can feel it at the most top of at the most of the top of the rep. So I know I'm really engaging my whole upper chest when I do the movement. Because some guys like to, still stay here in front of your face, um, but really, are you really getting the maximum out of that movement when if you're just stopping like below your chin? I always say also to emphasize I kind of lean a little bit forward, and I like to press all the way up over my head, so almost basically to my hairline, to get the max contraction. If I'm doing both hands, or like I
Mhm.
said, if I'm doing single arm, I'll come across not so drastically across my body because I kind of you get a good squeeze, but you're kind of just in a sense what's the word? I feel like you're just collapsing too much across your body when you don't
Mhm.
need to, and it's kind of interfering with that range of motion. I mean, with the
Right.
how your muscle fibers are on your chest. So I would say keep it more in front of you to your opposite eye, all the way up above your head to, like I said, about your hairline to get like a max contraction out of that movement.
Yeah, those are good cues. Okay, so yeah, we'll put everything in their tiers, and then we'll rank them within the tiers after.
Gotcha.
So next we have the barbell incline press.
I'd say I'd say that that's mutant as well. It can be Greek god, but I would say mutant because I always like my compound lifts, so I feel like that's
Yeah,
a big staple.
yeah,
Um,
I agree. Free weight barbell press, I think, is a really great staple. I think the only thing that could potentially be against it is obviously we hear so much, so many people like getting injured from it or getting pec tears, usually from
uh
barbell pressing. So the injury prevention aspect is probably the only thing that would keep it from that for me. But do you think it still deserves to be there or in Greek God?
Yeah, I still believe it.
Yeah,
Still both should be there.
I would still personally put it there too.
So I would say like barbell incline press is like okay, so put it like this: if you're gonna, it's always interesting to me how people kind of pick and choose. A lot of people say you should squat still, And a lot of people say, on deadlifts, you shouldn't do, I mean, on back day, you shouldn't do deadlifts. Or even on leg day, you shouldn't do deadlifts because the risk to reward ratio. But I see a
Mhm.
lot more people advocating for squats, barbells, back squat. I'm like, so what's the difference between the bench press and the deadlift? Like they're all risk, there's a whole huge risk to reward ratio with all three.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it is a risk to reward ratio on incline cable flies. You could sit here and jerk them and then pull a pec the same way. You could pull a pec you could pull anything with any one of these workouts. It's
Mhm.
lifting responsibly. A lot of people forget that. And like if you actually go into your workout trying to lift responsibly, push yourself, but lift
Yeah.
responsibly. If injuries are few and far in between. And a lot
So
of people anyway.
how would you define lifting responsibly for like a barbell incline press? What are some things you could do to prevent injury while doing it?
Well, not even doing it. A lot of people don't even warm up.
Right. Yeah.
I
Warming
see
up is a big
plenty of
one.
people come in the gym. I'm the gym lifeguard half the time. I will go up to you and be like, if I know you, not just if I don't know you, unless like I really see something that's really really bad, then I might say
Mhm.
something. But plenty of guys who I know who are under my coach who's coming to the gym, they don't warm up. A lot of people don't warm up. That's why I see them when they come in the gym. And that's the number one thing that's you're going to get injured. If you don't sit here and warm up, you just jump it into start lifting. Like it doesn't matter if you're
Yeah.
lifting light and you're still working up. You got to warm up. You got to rub your rotator cuff. You got to, warm up your triceps, warm up your back a little bit. There's a lot of things that play into these movements.
Yeah. A big thing I
Especially,
noticed
yeah.
with this one especially, so with the barbell, if before pressing, if I use like a lacrosse ball to foam roll like my chest, my shoulders, my traps, and
Uh-huh.
whenever I do that, it feels so much smoother. If I don't do that, I feel like it hurts. It takes me a really long time to warm up.
Right.
But if I do loosen it up before with something like that, like a foam roller or a lacrosse ball, then the warm up process itself becomes a lot more efficient for me too.
Right. Right. And then also, you could track your weights. That's important, tracking your weights. How you go about it varies per person. A lot of times I don't write down my weights in a note journal or anything at all. I kind of just off of me doing this for so long, even though it's not crazy long, it's still really
Mhm.
long to like comparative wise. Um, I learned how to work my way up in weight. I do take my time and, feel out the reps, know what's appropriate, a appropriate way to, go up in weight. I'm not jumping plate to plate to plate all the
Yeah.
time. Sometimes I'll jump up, I'll have a plate, then I'll go up, depending on it depends on how everything feels. It depends on
Right.
how long you've been in this to really know yourself and how you lift. Sometimes you can go up a plate. Sometimes you can go up, a quarter. Sometimes you're going to need that 10 and 5 pound, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
there are times where I stay the same too. Like if I do 225 and it feels like a little iffy, like when I still feel stiff, I won't go up. I'll do another set of 225 and stretch and like make sure it feels good before I go up again.
right. And the last point I like to make is
Mm.
really filling out the press or the pull or or the squat, whatever. So like if you can't control that weight on the way down and get every rep you need, you don't need to do a crazy 10-7 second eccentric, but at least like,
Control the weight.
1, 2, 3 and press
Hmm.
and give like a slight pause and you can't do all your reps like and actually like have that mind muscle connection to where like you're trying to bend the bar, you're pressing through your chest, you're raising your chest up, contracting your chest,
Hmm.
making sure your triceps are activated, make sure you're gripping the bar, not just holding it like doing a suicide grip. You're actually trying to feel out the movement. Like if you were to be at a dead stop, you're holding something and you're slowly pushing something, you'll learn mind muscle connection very easily and how to then manipulate your grip as you're pulling. Like I said, I try to bend the bar as
Hmm.
I'm pressing out. And when I'm coming down, like literally my hands kind of manipulate themselves when I'm holding the bar to like bend a little bit inward. That way I'm like pulling through my chest and allowing myself to get that um, max stretch. It's something slight. It's something small you feel. By the end of the day, you're, like I said, lifting responsibly and making sure these reps are true reps and you're not just pushing the push. And that's how mistakes happen.
Is there a certain rep range you think is safer? Like I personally try not to go below 6 reps because I know if I do, I'll have to go too heavy and that would increase my risk. Is that kind of what you do too? Or
I
what do
mean,
you do?
I hurt my chest before when I felt like I was in the process of doing something for 10 reps,
Mm,
and out of the blue on the third rep, I just felt like a tweak on my I felt like a tweak in my chest. I was like, I was just warming up perfectly fine. Everything was good to go. Things happen. Things happen.
yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's also, what did I do that I could have probably been a bit more hydrated. Um, I know I came to the gym a tad bit dehydrated. I didn't have enough, didn't have my electrolytes in the morning, didn't have, drink enough water. That's why it's really
Mhm.
important when you wake up in the morning to get your, like I say, 32 ounces of water. Wake up, chug that down along with some electrolytes, and you have a great morning routine. So you can, cross all these little check boxes off so that way your lift is really efficient.
Yeah.
You're not going into the unknown a little bit. Sometimes it can become a lot, but that's the game you play. When you want to be good at something, you have to have a process in which check off the right boxes to make sure you don't get hurt. Like you don't see football players come into a football game, and don't come out on the field before pregame and warm up with their team or by themselves. They don't see them just come out and, oh, we're going right into the game. No one does that. No one does that in any sport. Everybody warms up.
Right. So given that you're doing all the proper things, this is a great exercise.
Yes.
Um, okay. So next up we have push-ups.
Push-ups is mutant as well.
Really?
It's a huge staple. Like if honestly,
Do you
if
still do push-ups?
I do push-ups every now and then, but it's something that I do want to get back into doing more. A lot of times I have sometimes I stop doing things with my wrists.
Uh-huh.
'Cause I like to do like flat, but because then eventually when I don't do them long, I haven't done push-ups in a minute. When I try to put my hands flat, my wrists start killing me. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing these right now. But
So
they are still a huge staple. And everybody's like, oh, how'd you get your chest? How'd you get your chest like that? I'm like, I mean, my foundation was literally doing push-ups as a kid. Like I had
as a kid, but
yeah, like
as an advanced bodybuilder, do you still think those should be in your program?
100%.
Because you're able to do
Sadiq even says that. Even says that. He says that on all his chest day workouts. He's like, if you're not doing chest, you're not someone. If you're not doing push-ups on your chest day, I do not trust you. And I
really.
agree with him. I do agree with him. You should do push-ups. It's a good, and also it's a great finisher. It is a great finisher. I did that the other day with my boy Chaz
Uh-huh.
Finnegan. He works out here. We went through a chest day. And at the very end, we did a burnout of push-ups, superset
Yeah.
push-ups. I think with something else, I believe we did.
But do you think
Then
an
we're doing chest
exercise
until.
that's only good for burnouts is something that you should be considered a staple? Because
Well,
like because
it's a burnout. You can do
because
like a
we can do like
burnout.
50, right?
Yeah.
Because like it's so light and it's too
Mhm.
easy now. So like is do you think you not burn out with like let's say going to a pin loaded chest press machine and doing 50 reps on there? Would you consider that equally as effective?
Yes, but also put it like this: you can use push-ups as a warm-up as well,
Mhm.
and on top of that, it's body weight. So just like we'll get to that in a second, but we got dips on here. Dips are
Yeah.
extremely good. Dips are extremely good for chest and triceps. So to put it like
So
that,
between dips and push-ups, which would you consider more of a staple?
for chest day, I say push-ups. Dips is, but dips has a different play for like I say that would be more of something for a burnout and push-ups are more for a warm up. And
So if
but
something's
dips
a
can be a
warm
more
up,
yeah, but
then
dips can
should it
be
be a
more
mutant?
uh I'd say, you know what, but also you can do push-ups weighted.
Then it's not just a push-up anymore, right? Then we're adding more
It's
to
a
it.
way to it's a way to push up. But at the end of the day too, like depends on how heavy you are. Depends on how heavy you are as well. And like I said, it has a lot of multifunctional things for the workout.
Yeah.
You can do them in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. So
In
to
my
be honest, I'll put it like this. I'll say it's Greek God. I'll put it for
okay.
Greek. I'll put it for
Okay,
Greek God.
I can settle there. I would have put gym
Mhm.
bro just because I think it's great when you're starting out, and I
Uh-huh.
think it's great before you're in good shape because doing 10, 20 push-ups
Uh-huh.
is pretty tough. In that case, you can get a lot of stimulus from that. But like once you get to like an advanced level, you're probably doing 40 to 60, 70 push-ups to actually get to failure. So it's like is that any different than doing 40 to 70 rep sets? And like, we wouldn't say that's optimal. So why would that be beneficial for push-ups?
Right. But then also too, you can also still play with, you don't have to even do merit. You can also play with the tempo with it as well. You don't have to just go straight like, okay, we're just doing, we're, you
Yeah.
can do it really fast or you can do it really slow. And it all depends on the person. But at the end of the day, like I said before, you want to really feel those reps out. So you can do them regular, but then eventually, like you said, you get more advanced. Your body becomes more used
Mhm.
to it. You can still change the tempo. If
Okay.
people feel like, if people also feel like they're going to move up so fast, I'm like,
Mhm.
you'll move up a bit, but remember also these are before your workout. So will you be able to move up all the time when it comes to that? I don't believe so. Um,
Okay. We'll put it here for now. And then
mhm.
we'll come back to it. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of these. So there should be about somewhere between 2 to 4 to each of these tiers. Okay. So we'll go to dips next.
Dips. I put that in gym, bro.
Do you think,
For
see, in my
for
opinion,
for
I
for,
would put dips
for
ahead of
chest.
push-ups, but okay.
I mean, you
Because if you lean
can,
forward on dips, they're a lot
yeah.
hard. Like, I think dips are a lot harder than push-ups, right? Like in
Mhm.
general, you're able to do more push-ups than dips.
Yeah, but remember you said before, does that? But would you do dips to warm up for a chest day though?
I see. Yeah, I use dips with my finishers. That's why. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say it as I wouldn't put it in mutant,
Mm.
but
I mean, yeah, I can
I
see an
could put it
argument
in either of
for
these.
yeah, you
Yeah.
get put in either. Yeah, I just put
Okay.
push-ups, like I said, because before you can also use those as a warm-up,
Mm.
in the middle and finisher. I mean, dips is more or less, I feel like, is just a finisher.
Yeah,
And I
I
really
can see
want to
that.
do I really want to do in the middle of a chest day either. I'm like,
Yeah, that's true. Um, but yeah, dips. I guess we can talk about it a little more. So that what part of your chest? So I guess it really depends on how angled you are when you do them. So like if you're
mhm,
standing straight up, obviously you're hitting more of like the lower chest. But if you like tilt forward, like but what I'm doing, like I'm almost parallel to the floor, like my chest. In which
mhm.
case, I feel like you are targeting a bit more chest. So how do you do them? How would you apply them to chest day?
If I was doing it for chest, like I would do it just like you said, like chest point to the floor, because having more of a straight up stance for them is more tricep bias and it hits more of your lower pec.
Mm,
But just like Charles Glass, he made a video on this. Is bring your knees to the chest. Bend all the way over. When you forward yourself all the way forward, having your chest point to the ground, and then do a dip. And that right there will really, really give you a great stretch and
mm,
contraction when you're doing, when you're doing dips, if you're really trying to focus in on dips for your chest day.
yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I keep it at gym, bro.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll keep it
but
gym bro.
but it's definitely is a great finisher and is a great stimuli for your chest, especially after like if you really hit chest great that day. It's a great
Mm.
finisher to end on.
All right. So next we have barbell decline press.
I probably leave that as gym, bro. I never really needed a decline press. I can
I
do
never
it.
have either.
I did it plenty of times, but I never really felt like anything like a great contract. I mean, I felt pretty good contraction from it, but I never got any crazy growth from doing a decline
And it's
dumbbell press
like,
or bench press.
have you ever met anybody who had too small of a lower chest and like needed to make the lower chest more dominant than the rest of it?
No,
Like, I don't think so.
no. With that, it's like ideal chest and your upper middle of your middle pec and your upper pec. Um, it's just so much small. It's just you might as well just do your pec
Flat
major.
or
Yeah,
yeah,
flat and
flat or
call it.
incline. Yeah. Yeah, I would actually almost put it in lifetime natty because I just don't see any use for it.
Mhm.
If you would you ever choose this over a different exercise, like over flat or over incline?
Oh
Is there
no,
any actual application to put it?
no, it's unnecessary. It's just like
Yeah,
two. You're just like I always found it interesting. I'm like, okay, you have me decline. Now I'm like have my feet in the air. I'm trying to balance with that,
yeah.
which
I
isn't
get like a
terribly
rush of
hard,
blood to my
but
head because I'm
yeah, I'm
like
like
upside down and
yeah, I have this awkward angle where I'm trying to like make sure I'm actually like in the right spot. I'm not too high. I'm not too low. I'm like it's too much like adjusting because I mean, you go, oh, you're not used to it. I'm like, okay. But at the end of the day, I shouldn't have to like really guess this hard. When I'm like at
Yeah.
incline, I know if I'm bringing it down to my neck, if I'm bringing it down to here, it's pretty simple. But if I'm
Mhm.
here decline, I'm like, okay, I gotta like keep it here and play with it a little bit to see how I'm doing. And also to my press, I'm not like I don't feel much. I'm like, okay, this isn't really doing anything
Yeah.
crazy.
And you're
So
probably
like I
not
said,
gonna
the muscle's
do
so small.
yeah. You're not gonna do more than like 1 or 2 free weight presses, and, like, I just don't know that you would ever wanna choose that over a different one.
You're right, right.
Yeah. And that brings us to barbell flat bench. So just a typical straight up bench press.
Barbell flat press. I haven't done that in a long time. It has played a big staple in my chest
Mhm.
days years ago, and even like in the beginning of my bodybuilding journey. Yes, but I'd say I probably put that. But so guys still use it. I mean, I probably say I'll put that in Greek God.
Yeah. I
It's
think I
still
agree.
you can still utilize that, respectfully and great get a great workout out of that movement. It's just when people try to take it overboard when they shouldn't, and they, like I said, get hurt. But like I think, like I said before, it's more important to get the upper chest filled out because if you get that filled out, that is a bigger thing people will get critiqued on than just your
Right.
chest in general.
And it's like it's not like the incline press does not hit the rest of your chest too. It just biases towards upper, which is probably what most people need.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I would put it there too. Like it's a great staple exercise if you're doing it properly. But yeah, there is a slightly higher injury risk compared to other exercises that are like machine based. And if
Mhm.
you were to choose between one of the barbell ones, I would probably still pick incline over flat.
Right. And people do flat barbell, let's get for real, because it's easier too. Like that's
Yeah, you
why
can do more
people
weight.
get hurt so much is because they sit here and they want to go for the maximum weight. And then when you start inclining and stuff, of course it's
Yeah.
going to get harder.
Yeah. Okay. This is another one. Dumbbell chest flies.
Dumbbell
What do
chest
you think about
fly.
those?
Those are great as well. Those are pretty great. I did those as well in my preps. Not as much because I moved towards the cable because I just like to have a lot more tension
Mhm.
on there and a lot more, how you would say, control. So it is a bit when you're stretching out with weight and you're trying to make sure you're getting a good stretch in your chest, but then you're also trying to balance this weight in sort of an awkward way. You're trying to also adjust your arms a certain way. I just feel like it's easy. It's easier to do with cables,
Yeah.
and you'll get more out of it with cables than with dumbbell. But dumbbell does the same thing in a sense. But when you get to the top of the movement, sometimes for me, I just don't really feel it as much
Yeah, I
anymore,
think
and that could be just be a skill issue for me. Okay, so I would say I would probably put it for gym bro because I haven't done it for a while, like a good couple of years now. Uh, and I haven't needed it, but it's still a good workout. So I would say that, but it's not like, oh, something that really needs to be in my program, and it's not something that's
yeah.
like a huge staple.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's like I've never done as a staple. I've done a couple of times. And like you said, it just feels a little awkward to me where
Uh-huh.
it's like and you lose tension in certain parts of the movement. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I just never felt the need to do that instead of like a cable or machine fly.
Especially when you're doing the cable presses and flies, you want to at the end of that movement have that really, really good contraction
Contraction.
at the top. You're not looking
Right.
for the contraction down here. Yeah,
Yeah.
stress, cool. But then you want the contraction on the top. And typically when you're with dumbbells, it's kind of like you lose the tension.
Yeah.
So
And even
at the
throughout
end
the
of
middle, it just feels, yeah, this doesn't feel like this constant tension
mhm,
and the contraction doesn't feel as strong as it would on like cables or machines.
mhm. Results vary, but so I
Yeah.
attribute it like I attribute it to like I said, gym bro. We're having fun lifting. Let's see how heavy we can go on
Yeah.
incline fly, or dumbbell flies and or incline flies. So
Yeah, I like that. Um, okay. Dumbbell press. So dumbbell, whether it's incline, flat, we can talk about that after, but just in general, a dumbbell
Mhm.
press.
Dumbbell press, I'll put it in Greek god. It's
I think I would
nice.
actually, would you not? I would put it in mutant, maybe.
I mean,
I
you
think there's an
could if
argument
you.
for it.
I mean, you could if you know don't want to do a barbell.
Hmm.
So I mean, yeah, it's important. So you would want to press. You would want to press in there, especially since it's ISO. So you have each hand separately, and you can really get a good stretch um in a movement as well. But it's just
Do you
like I
think,
feel
would you ever choose to do it if you had to choose between only dumbbell and only barbell? What would you choose if you couldn't do one? Like, yeah, you could only pick one. You couldn't do both.
I probably say
It's for everyone.
I
Let's say
stick
not just
I
for you. Let's say
I
if you were
stick with
to, yeah,
I probably stick with barbell only because the aspect of unless you have a fancy gym to where they have the assists and you can like take it off there, it's just
yeah,
like getting them up aspect. Like
that's true.
it's a lot. So like I'd rather be able to just grab it off the rack,
That's
barbell
true.
off the rack, and do my movement. Yeah, I can do them the same controlled and everything like that. Yes, the ISO is very important. To help work on those imbalances.
Yeah,
But just also, if you want to talk about the safety aspect, barbell almost comes out to be a tad bit more safer.
because
Um,
of the kick up. Yeah, I can
the
see. See,
kick
I was
up.
gonna say that dumbbells are safer, but you're right. Like the kick up itself is probably where you're gonna get hurt on
Yeah, how
dumbbells,
many
not the
times do you
actual
see
press.
guys trying to kick it up and they're shaking under the sun? Yeah, some guys
Yeah,
are really questioning it, but then they're still like, yeah, it's the balance aspect. But then in that balancing aspect, you can still get really hurt.
yeah, yeah. When you're kicking up, 150s, 140s, like it's definitely easy to tweak something.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, I had plenty of times like I like just refuse to kick it up because also too is like the weights aren't all the same size. Like, yeah, okay, the barbell's
Mhm,
not the same size, but then you're grabbing it in the spacing in between the weight versus you and the bar.
mhm.
The space is the same. Dumbbells, you can go from having like, being good right here to now you got these 150-pound dumbbells and your arms are gonna come out here now because they go damn near hit
Yeah,
every friggin' time. And yeah, you gotta keep your arms wider. Yeah, I get it. But at the end of the day, too, sometimes if sometimes those trying to get the dumbbells up, it just becomes a thing that gets in the way too much.
that's fair.
And something to
Yeah,
think about. And there's too much factors you gotta think about when trying to get the dumbbells up. If
yeah,
I can't do
yeah.
it by myself, then it's like, okay, then it's gonna end up being barbell at the end of the day. Because like I said, I have that space to just lift it
Right.
off and be good.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm not having to rely on my shoulder balance, tricep, stabilization with my
Mm.
elbow being good and make sure I can kick it up here by myself and make sure everything's all stable and balanced.
Yeah, that's actually why I don't do the shoulder, like dumbbell shoulder presses anymore. Because it just got too hard to kick up like straight up to here. With like the
Mhm.
hundreds, 110s, I was like, screw that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
love
doing
to
those
do
anymore.
them. I definitely love to do them, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's not a huge staple that I would have over barbell press.
Yeah. I still love dumbbell. I still do. Yeah. I still do dumbbell presses every time. But
Still do it. Still amazing workout,
yeah.
but I wouldn't
But
put
yeah,
it
I
over
see your point on that.
the point of being able to overload the muscle is way better for barbell.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So that goes into plate loaded presses. So now we're removing the stability completely, just like a typical, hammer strength, panada, whatever.
Mhm.
Chest press that you just put the plates on the side and push.
Um, yeah, I put that at mutant. That is really good. Those are really good.
Yeah.
Um, I use a lot of I would typically go from incline press, uh, right, incline barbell press, right into incline chest hammer strength chest press. Um, that was one of my favorite things to do back in 2024 with my chest day. It was
Mhm.
just one of the things that sung well with me. You also, like I said, the safety aspect of it's pretty good. So it's not like you're having to sit here and trying to balance anything. Depending on the machine you have as well, loads can vary. But if you have a great angle, like I said, a hammer strength, um, presses can be just phenomenal, especially if you have the right angles and everything
Yeah.
like that. It's really, really beneficial to really
Very low
focus
injury
on.
risk.
Yeah, very low injury risk, especially when you really want to focus in on that muscle. You can
Yeah.
really just lock in and press through that movement. So I would say, yeah, that's definitely mutant for me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, super low injury risk, easy to overload, and very good for targeting the specific muscle. So
Right.
yeah, there's not really a lot of downsides to it.
And sometimes cables can give you a false sense of like no proper weight. So I was like, I like the aspect of you're just putting the weight on
Mhm.
and you're able to press and feel that weight properly. It's not like there's no little guessing game in there.
Yeah. All right, so you put dumbbell flies in Gym Bro. So now we have the other two variation of flies, so cable and machine. So where would you put, which one would you put higher? And then where would you put each one?
Machine fly or cable fly? Damn. Machine fly or cable fly? I would put cable fly over machine fly.
Okay. Why?
Cable fly for me, it just you have that constant tension. You do have a bit of, you know, the isolateral part of it to where it's
Mhm.
like, your body, you're still being able to balance. And it's not as, how you would say, taxing. Like I said, if you're trying to get a dumbbell up, it's like a bit like, okay, you're trying to figure out
Mhm.
the weight. Cables can be, you bring them in, bring it to your chest, and then you can adjust yourself properly. It's just a bit easier. Um, all the while keeping that constant tension through the movement. Um, and you could also, overload it as well.
So you're saying
Um,
because you're not locked into a specific
yeah, you're
like
not locked into a
pattern,
specific
you can
range of
find the one that works.
motion.
That feels good.
Yeah, you're not locked into a
Okay.
specific range of motion because I get funny with that too. Is like I don't like machines that have, like I said, sometimes a gamble. You're picking a machine that has a certain range of motion,
That's fair. Yeah.
and you're kind of locked into that. And you kind of sometimes got to manipulate your body to adjust. And sometimes I hate that if it's not a great machine, and I'm just not vibing with it. Like cables, you just have more free range of motion to adjust how you please and
That's
do
true.
what you
Yeah.
need to. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say machines, because I prefer machines just because it's like you don't have to think about finding the right spot. You just go in and hit it. But yeah, that is given that you have a good machine at your gym that feels really good. So I've
Uh-huh.
definitely gone to fly machines that aren't good, and then I go to cables. Yeah, so I think that's a good argument for cables is that it's
It's
always the same in every gym, and you can always find the right pattern.
right. And that's the thing. Like you see gyms now, like I don't really see gyms bringing in crazy new cable equipment, but I always see gyms bringing in new machines,
Mhm.
um, because it varies, per
Yeah,
company more often than not.
right.
Like, yeah, you could say the weight varies a bit for cable machines, but it's very, if you see that attachment, like people say, if you pay attention to how the machines are set up, how many pulleys does it have versus
Mhm.
just the straight cable down to the weight, like you can kind of tell, okay, this is going to be, what the weight is, or this is going to be, double, like less. It's going to be half of that weight if it has two pulleys. So you can kind of easily tell. But like I said, then you also get that, you be able to adjust any way you would like. Um, Even you can combo workouts. Like if I was to do, a flat fly and I can go into an incline fly, or,
Mhm.
it just depends on, um, depends on what
And
you
they're
want to
very
do.
versatile,
Very
right?
versatile. Yeah. Multifunctional. Yeah. So that's why for me.
Um, okay. So where would you put cable flies in this list?
I
Which
put
category?
cable flies in Greek God.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that for sure. And then machine flies?
I put it in gym, bro,
Okay.
because you don't really need a machine fly.
Yeah.
Most gyms have a cable, uh, and it's just like you don't really need a machine. Um, but you could still do it. It's definitely something you could, utilize. But cable flies typically are going to be all in every gym. Great workout. I just want to put it in mutant because not really. If we're just talking about flat,
Absolutely must do.
you don't need to utilize all the flies per se. I always just
Right.
say stick with incline, stick with incline cable flies, because if you're doing your pressing movements properly, and then you have plenty of regular pectoral stress right there just on your standard chest press. Because you'll be doing a barbell press, you'll be doing a seated press most likely, um, of like, and probably multi variations of that. Closed grip press, all that works the medial chest. Uh, and cable incline is just like where I say, okay, stay with that as well. Also, you get some of that pec activation when you're doing incline as well. So it's
Right.
always like the thing. It's like, oh, don't do. People like to say, don't do your front delts on shoulder day because your chest day you get enough front delt. I'm like, oh, that's true. I mean,
It's true. I
uh,
still hit front delts too
yeah, still
on
have front
shoulder day.
delts. So,
um,
so
okay,
yeah,
there's
same
one that I
thing.
forgot that I think a lot of people do as well that I want to add. So it's
Mm,
going to be the Smith machine press.
okay.
So
Smith,
I think a lot of very popular for bodybuilders. So
yes,
I think
very.
that's an important one to add to the list and talk about. So where would you put that on this
Uh,
list?
I put that as Greek as mutant. I mean, I put that as mutant only because if you don't do incline free weight, people will start off the workout with incline Smith
Uh-huh.
machine. So a lot of people will do Smith machine, start their workout. It's almost like if you do deadlifts and you don't want like I like to like rotate it a bit, have a bit of a cycle. I'll do probably, deadlifts twice a week. And then the next week I might do deadlifts once and then I'll do a rack pull size. It's kind of like a switch out for me to where it's like, okay, I did free weight, but now let me just give myself a break because maybe my elbow might be giving me a little issues or shoulders
Hmm.
giving me a bit of issues. So let me just get real rigid and really just press through this movement and not worry about the stabilizing aspect of things. Um, and let me just get the most out of the workout and I can still overload safely. Um, and be able to rack as I please and not worry about, oh, do I need to lift off or anything like that.
Hmm.
It's like I said, adding that safety aspect in there all the while, still doing that movement.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. It's like again, just like plate load press, it's like a really less injury prone exercise. It's harder to injure yourself on it because you don't have
Right.
to stabilize it yourself. Targets the chest really well. Um, and it's still easy to overload. You can still kind of load
Mhm.
it up. And so
Right.
yeah, I think it is very similar to the plate loader press and what the benefits of it are.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so this is our list. So are there any you want to move around before we start ranking them within, or any tiers you want to move around before we start
Uh,
ranking them within tiers?
Not really. I probably, well, no, I'll probably keep everything the same.
Okay, so let's rank it within the tiers then. So we'll start, okay, obviously at the bottom, we have that by itself, the barbell decline press. Um, I would almost put dumbbell chest flies here too, because like we talked about, like between machine and dumbbell,
Hmm.
you would probably pick machine, right? I think I would too.
Hmm.
Is there ever a reason to ever do dumbbells then? If you have machines
There's a
and cables?
place. There's always a place for for things in your aspect training wherever you are in your fitness journey. Um, I don't say don't do them, but then
Would you ever recommend dumbbells over cables or machines? Because not like you would
uh,
do all of them in the same workout, right? You would never do like cable, then machine, and then
oh
dumbbell.
yeah,
So like
you
if
want to do, yeah, I would say pick, and also it depends on how the workout meshes with the person
Mhm.
as well. Everybody has different stimuli when it comes to training, so I would say most definitely, I would say machine over dumbbell, um, especially if you're doing cable that day.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but I still keep it as gym bro. I wouldn't
Okay.
say lifetime natty.
And then dips, would you put dips ahead of machine these two or no?
Just for the overloading aspect and being able to add weight, I'd say machine. I mean, you could add weight to a dip, but then
It's a little different. Yeah.
it's a bit different, and just how
It's
you would if you're really trying to do dips for chest. when you bend over and you have the your knees up and you're trying to really press, like how Charles last I referenced before, how it's said to do it. I wouldn't add weight to that. That's a bit too much factors going on right there, and that's just a bit too much. Um,
Yeah.
so I would say a machine flies over dips, but I wouldn't put dumbbell chest flies over dips. No.
Yeah. No, so I agree with that one. So that's kind of where our rankings go for that. All right, Greek God tier. So what is the best of this tier?
I'd say we got okay. So push up, barbell, bench press. I definitely put um push ups too, but I definitely put oh man. I put cable flies.
As the best of this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because if you're doing a barbell flat press,
Uh,
like I said, you could utilize it. But let's put it for real. If you're doing incline as your beginning workout, in my aspect, I would do incline. I'm not going to go to do a flat press after that, a flat press barbell. You could do a dumbbell, something that's like more isometric for
let's
that.
assume you haven't done any other exercise. This is like your main exercise for
Your
the
main
workout.
exercise.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, okay. I mean, if you're talking about that, then okay. I put barbell. Actually, I put barbell first.
First. Okay.
Yeah, and then keep cables fly second, push ups third, dumbbell press can be dumbbell press.
I think, yeah, I'll put dumbbell press higher for sure.
I put it for third. I put push ups last then. Yeah, if that we're
Okay.
talking about like that. Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Um, okay. So now in the mutant. So now we're in the final four.
Uh-huh.
So again, these exercises that are in like a vacuum by itself, if we were to only do this exercise for your chest day, that's kind of the way we're looking at it with
Uh-huh.
how effective it is. So what would we put first? Or I
Barbell
guess we'll
and
go
third.
last. What would you go worst with these?
So worst
We'll go from
first?
last. Yeah, we'll go last to first, worst to best.
What's that one? That's Smith machine press. Okay. We're incline cable flies is worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got plate loaded press. Yeah, then yes, Smith machine and then barbell incline.
So barbells, you think is the best of all of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, these two, I think they're pretty interchangeable. Um,
Yeah. And it's like
yeah,
Smith machine, like I said, if you're really ultimately like you want to get the most out of the workout. So yeah, those have the incline and the plate loaded presses, eh, things you don't need much stabilization out of those. And yeah, but like I said, you want inclines over that because you are using that stabilization muscle. You're training a lot more. Yes,
mhm,
there's a safety aspect, a higher safety risk, but that's the I mean, when you're pushing yourself training hard, there's a safety risk for everything. And
yeah,
then when you really utilize that properly, you really can't beat it.
yeah.
And you want to have those things. So those things are important. Stabilization muscles are really important. I literally I have a bit of a lat and upper pec issue right now because my muscles underneath my lat aren't stabilizing properly, which is causing my chest to be tight and it's pulling my shoulder forward a little bit. Nothing crazy
Mhm,
drastic, but it's pulling it forward enough to where it's just like, okay, now because don't have a pec tear, nothing wrong. I got ultrasound done. Had one of my guys look at it, and my boy Swift, Swift Performance,
mhm,
in next to Performance Strength Academy in Hamilton, New Jersey. He ultrasounded it, and he's like, "There's just irritation there, and you're pecking your lat, but there's nothing torn. You don't have any tears. Um, he gave me stuff to do to alleviate it, and until I get my body work, all my soft tissue body work stuff done." But he said underneath my lat, there's muscle underneath there that aren't firing really well. So the bit of a nerve thing is a little bit of a nerve thing, but nothing very bad. But it's just
mhm.
like I'm gonna have to get body work done to relax a bit to get my lat to pull my basically those muscles to keep myself evened out. Because right now, like I said, my shoulder's coming forward, which is meaning my chest is really tight and my back is not compensating. So if it's not
Right.
compensating to help pull that back, my chest is tight. It's just going to lead to it feeling more and more irritated because a lot of the pressure, like I said, a lot of times when you're doing various workouts, you're using a lot of things. So you're using your back on chest day, believe it or not.
Mhm.
A lot of times
Yeah,
if
it's
I
a
hit a
huge
back,
stabilizer.
yeah, if I hit a back day and I go into my chest day, I feel pretty freaking good. And like when I go through my pressing movements, because I feel like my back's activated, I'm stabilized.
Mhm.
If it's not activated, if it's not like, and essentially it's warmed up, even though like, yeah, a whole day went by, X, Y, Z, you slept, but it's still have a bit of a pump if you actually have a good workout out of that as well. Which typically was the case. I'm a back day is one of my favorite days. So that being said, those stabilizer muscles matter. He gave me workouts to do to help, work those stabilizer muscles and, tell me different things, even like you said, work the medicine ball, the chest, stretch, all that jazz, which I, also warmed up and everything, but I had to work more on my recovery aspect of
Right.
of those, of my workouts, afterwards. So yeah, stabilizing is extremely important. So I think the things that challenge those stabilizer muscles will essentially, only benefit you,
Yeah,
in the
I
long run.
agree. Yeah, and it'll help you get stronger with other days as well. Because like if you're working your back as a stabilizer during chest day, then it'll help your back days.
Mhm.
Same thing like if you're doing squats, like barbell squats for legs, like it's still going to help your back day. It's still going to help like a lot of things
Mhm.
because you're using those muscles as such big stabilizers
Right.
um, during those exercises. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a good list. Um, so here's our final one. So quick run through: barbell incline press, king of all lifts, got to do it. Smith machine incline, plate loaded press, probably close second and third. Uh, if you have trouble with the stabilizing part, if you want to overload the muscle, it's definitely good if as you get like more advanced, maybe, uh,
Mhm.
and you maybe have some tweaks, you want to avoid injury, but still overload the muscle. Um, incline cable flies, um, really good for isolating and stretching your upper chest, um, and having that free range of motion, right?
You're right.
Um, in Greek God tier, barbell bench, dumbbell bench, uh, both really good exercises, but we put it here ultimately because we think that barbell is better if you had to choose between them. Um, because of that upper chest bias, dumbbell also because it's like a little hard to overload because most gyms don't have over 150s. And because it's hard once you get to that 150s, it's pretty hard to kick them up, and then you're kind of neutralizing that safety aspect that you think it has over barbell because you're having to kick up 150s, which
Right.
is also dangerous. Cable flies, great. But again, just if we were to pick that between flat and incline, incline seems to be better.
And real quick, just to say too, on the barbell presses, it's like it's easier if you have a spotter, the spotter aspect of it. If you don't have like an experienced spotter, we know it's annoying when people will just kind of grab wherever they want to grab
Or
on a
dumbbells.
on a dumbbell press. So when you on an incline on the barbell press, you're just grabbing the bar, you're
It's
just
a lot
putting your hands
easier.
with the bars. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's a
true.
lot more easier. It's a single spot. You don't have to sit here and grab somebody's wrist and like see if they like that, or if you
Yeah,
want them to grab your elbow or push up on your elbow, not grab it. Like I know people say also grab like right here and press
yeah,
up. It helps, but times I also just takes my mental really hard off the press and it feels just way too easy. Um, and it's, you can say, okay, well, when guy touches the bar, but like it's a lot more, I say, for me, better manipulation of the mind when it comes to the touching the bar versus actually touching you.
yeah.
'Cause you're
And
not
if
really
you're
gonna grab
asking,
the
like,
weight. You're not grabbing the weight on a
y-
dumbbell press.
yeah,
Um,
and like if you're at the gym, there's not always like someone who's super experienced there. So like you're asking someone to come spot you, and it's like a beginner. It's way easier
mhm,
for them to spot you on like a barbell than like a dumbbell.
right,
So you have to
right.
like bend over and like get level and hold up. And yeah, it's definitely a lot more
Yeah,
awkward
yeah. You have like this
with a
weird,
dumbbell.
like yeah, especially exactly what you just said. You have a lot of weird leverages where you got to really play with it, and depending on how good that person is, it might be detrimental to you.
Yeah.
In that aspect.
Um,
'Cause you seeing their nervous, like, oh well, shoot, like you're
yeah.
trying to process that because you're almost playing like, you know, you're playing like I don't know even say like a lifeguard, and essentially to that person like, oh, is he all right? Like, okay, is he gonna put his hands up now, or like
Mhm.
what's going on? Is he gonna like put his hands on his spot? That's on you also to communicate what you like and don't like. But sometimes you're not thinking about that, and sometimes it just can get real hairy. So
Yeah. Okay, then we get to push-ups, which is a bodyweight exercise. I think this is definitely a big difference between the rest of these we listed before than push-ups. Because like if you were to do the rest of these in isolation, like by itself as a main movement, I think you could. Push-ups, I guess you can too. And like you said, you do have a good point that you can do it at any point in the workout and use them to either warm up
yeah,
around the
put it like
middle.
this too. It's like if you're doing a chest day and you don't even have a bench press, like you're working like the COVID times, you're at home. If you
Yeah,
weren't fortunate enough to make a gym, like I made a gym in my garage out of pipes and center blocks and 4x4s and 2x4s, whatever, and scrap nails. But if you don't even have that, like, what are you gonna do for chest if you don't have dumbbells or nothing like that,
right,
or you push ups, hit the
right.
push ups. It's a
Yeah,
main workout, but also can be a finisher, warm up, and like middle ground exercise you can use as a superset even. Or if I'm doing cable flies and now okay, let's bust out 10 push-ups in between each set, something like that.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see it more now. And then we go into the gym bro category. So these four, I would say, are not the like very difficult to have them as your primary exercise. Maybe machine flies, you can make an argument for if you have a good
Uh-huh.
machine fly machine. Um, the dips, yeah, you probably have to go weighted for them to
Yeah,
be effective. But then,
but
yeah,
that's
I used to
like
love weighted dips, but they were tough on my elbows because I was doing it with
yeah.
like 3 45 pound plates tied to me, and then I was like, and then it was yeah, they're pretty tough on my elbows at that point. But um, dumbbell cable flies, I think it's higher risk of injury, less tension, and not a ton of reasons to do it over. And it's like a higher skill level too to do it properly. Um,
Mhm. Most definitely.
so I think it's a little bit worse to do. I would recommend doing that over machine or cables.
Like I said, you
Um,
could do them, but I feel like it's more of a fun workout to do than like, okay, we're taking this serious. Like I'm really trying to grow this chest. Like,
yeah.
eh, eh.
And then we
But
have here in the lifetime natty category, the decline press,
yeah,
which
something I
I
see a whole bunch of guys do. I'm like, why?
yeah, and I don't think I've ever seen a high level bodybuilder doing a decline press.
Yeah, I mean, I seen my coach do him. He's a pro, but at the end of the day, I did not with him. I just never got like that is something he likes to do.
Yeah,
I never do it. I never do it, and it's is what it is. Everybody, like I said, everybody has different training stimuli, but the king of it all is like an incline fly. So anything for your upper chest. No one like for your lower chest is like, it's just an exercise in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I really don't think there's any reason to do that over the other presses. And yeah, yeah. There's no reason for using up your recovery, like fatigue, on
Mhm.
that exercise.
Right,
You should definitely do it on something else instead.
right.
Um, okay, cool. That's the list. So I'll publish that after this is over. Um, and before we go, I want to show Jordan's Proseek profile too. So Jordan is a Proseek athlete, and if you want to get in touch with them to for posing or coaching or anything of that nature, this is profile. Just go to proseek.org or go to our Instagram, Proseek Official, and you can find virtual consultations, posing routines, lifestyle training if you're in the area in Jersey, South Jersey. What city are you in?
Oh yeah, so South Jersey,
Okay.
Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Right now, not too like 15 minutes from Philly. Um, very local around here. So anybody would like it within like a 15-mile radius can get to me.
Yeah. And then we also have a Q&A feature that we just launched in Proseek. Really great resource for people who are newer to bodybuilding or and have questions about your prep or diet in general. You can come in here and get answers from pros directly that are all in the platform. And you can subscribe for free. So if you use code Clark, you can get a 10% discount after the 60 days free. It gets charged $5 a month, so less than a coffee or a Big Mac per month. Um, and you get 10% off that. So $450 if you use Jordan's code, which is Clark.
Very, very, very worth it. I see too many people asking questions to their favorite bodybuilders on the Instagram, and we all know how that gets sometimes. Even when I even comment on people's stuff, if I'm commenting back to a lot of people, sometimes some odd reason the comment didn't load and it never got back to that person. It's weird sometimes. So this definitely is a staple, I say. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Please reach out.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jordan, for getting on today, and we will get back on in next week and
For
talk
sure,
about
definitely.
another topic. Yeah.
Sounds great. Thank you for having
All
me.
right. Thanks.